The biggest showdown expected in Washington this year had a battle stop in New York.
Without exaggeration, American debt is a ticking time bomb that will detonate unless we take serious, responsible action.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy making a political pitch on the debt ceiling at the New York Stock Exchange.
Let me be very clear. There's two things I will not do. I will not raise taxes, and I will not pass a clean debt ceiling. It just won't pass.
The White House fighting back on Republicans' refusal to raise the debt ceiling without conditions, which is the Democrats' plan. White House Deputy Press Secretary Andrew Bates said in a statement, "There is one responsible solution to the debt limit, addressing it promptly without brinksmanship or hostage-taking," as Republicans did 3 times in the last administration and as Presidents Trump and Reagan argued for in office. The Treasury Department estimates sometime between July and September, the U.S. will default on its debt if politicians fail to raise the $31.4 trillion debt limit. And that would be an unfettered economic catastrophe. In the event of an actual default, they estimate unemployment would soar to 12% in the first 6 months. It would trigger a deep and lasting recession, and U.S. standing and the dollar would be at risk. But so far, negotiations are at an impasse. The Republican House leader revealing that he hasn't spoken to the White House on the issue in more than 2 months.
Had the president agreed to negotiate in good faith, we'd already be done. Unfortunately, I have not heard from the White House since our very first meeting.
And while he says the Democrats' plan is a non-starter, Republicans have yet to present their own. That's about to change.
Okay, so here's our plan. In the coming weeks, the House will vote on a bill to lift the debt ceiling into the next year. Save taxpayers trillions of dollars, make us less dependent upon China, curb our high inflation, all without touching Social Security and Medicare.
In exchange for lifting the ceiling for 1 more year, Republicans are expected to propose some type of cap on discretionary spending. McCarthy told Wall Street out-of-control spending was to blame for inflation, which has led to the Federal Reserve's tight monetary stance now squeezing the economy.
It's not a revenue problem. We're bringing more money in a percentage than any time before, but we're spending and there's no curve on that. So the Fed's their own entity, they get to make their own decisions, but they're having to make decisions based upon what we did to create inflation. So I have a responsibility to curve that so the Fed wouldn't have to act.
But 2 Republican bills McCarthy is behind and touted at the stock exchange would reportedly do the opposite over the next decade. The Congressional Budget Office says Republicans' H.R. 1 bill to lower energy costs would increase the deficit by $2.4 billion over a 10-year period, while a vote earlier this year to repeal IRS funding would add $114 billion to the deficit by 2032. I'm Simone Del Rosario, and in New York, it's just business.
Thanks for watching. In this time of media mistrust, Straight Arrow News is on a mission to bring you unbiased, fact-based reporting. So to make sure you get journalism you trust, like and subscribe to Straight Arrow News below. It goes a long way in telling YouTube we're the kind of news you want to see more of. And for all of our content, go to our website at straightarrownews.com.